It's Friday, February 8th. I'm Wayne Moore. This is Evening Update. At the top of the news, it was a deadly day on the highways throughout the Okanagan. Nick Johansson begins our coverage in Kelowna.
An 18-year-old Oyama resident was killed in a crash on Highway 97, just south of UBC Okanagan, early Friday morning. A semi-truck and Toyota Corolla collided on the highway, just south of the University overpass at about 6:30 a.m. The Toyota appears to have been heavily damaged in the crash. Both vehicles were facing northbound, and it's unclear how the crash occurred. Just after 9 a.m., the coroner was at the crash scene taking photos of the collision. The roads across Kelowna were extremely slick after snow fell overnight, and several crashes were reported across the Okanagan. The tragic collision closed the highway for the entire morning as investigators examined the scene. Northbound traffic was diverted east of the highway at Edwards Road, while southbound traffic has been directed along Quail Ridge Boulevard.
In the South Okanagan, one person is dead, a baby and one other in a hospital after a serious crash in Oliver Friday morning. Crews were called out about 9:45 a.m. where they found two vehicles in the ditch on Highway 97 and Route 20. 3 occupants, including the infant, were in one vehicle and a single occupant in the other. That occupant was able to get out of their vehicle without fire department assistance. No word on the condition of the two injured. A head-on crash on Highway 33 near Peregrine Road Friday afternoon resulted in at least one serious injury and temporary closure of the highway. The crash occurred just after noon on Highway 33, which is one of the primary detour routes around the Highway 97 closure between Peachland and Summerland. The highway has since reopened. A series of events in Vernon Friday has left one man dead, another shot, and one man in custody. Darren Henshaw is following that story.
The BC Coroner Service has been called to the Village Green Hotel for an incident in the front parking lot. Police are currently investigating multiple scenes resulting from what is believed to be a targeted break-and-enter that turned violent overnight. Just before 1 a.m. on Friday, the RCMP received a report of a break-and-enter in progress at a residential home located in the 9800 block of Park Lane in Lavington. It was reported there were possible shots fired, resulting in one occupant of the home sustaining non-life-threatening injuries. Approximately 30 minutes later, police were called to the Village Green Hotel in regards to a man who had sustained an apparent gunshot injury. The man has since died as a result of those injuries. Constable Kelly Brett said Vernon RCMP have secured and are investigating multiple crime scenes and believe the two incidents may be related. The investigation remains in its early stages as police continue to examine the scenes for physical evidence and canvass areas for witnesses. The RCMP have one man in custody.
The Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure has just announced that they've opened a new alternate route for travelers on the west side of Okanagan Lake between Peachland and Summerland. The Trout Creek Service Road has been graded, plowed, and sanded and will continue to be maintained. Ministry representatives also say they don't have an exact day for opening of Callan Road detour, meaning the Monday morning commute is still in question. 14 pieces of heavy equipment are now on site, and they'll be working throughout the weekend. The ministry expects to have a better idea on an opening by Sunday. Ministry of Transportation saying that there's nothing to worry about with the small slide that occurred Friday morning south of Summerland, and it is unrelated to the larger rock slide north of town. Officials said the soil failure was related to the freeze and thaw system that goes on in the late winter and early spring. Police investigating a fire that damaged a home in Rutland Friday morning. Fire crews arrived at the Robson Road home just after 8 a.m. to find heavy smoke pouring from the front door. Officials say they found a well-involved fire in a room at the back of the home. The home sustained fire and smoke damage. The 3 occupants of the house and 2 pets safely escaped, but one man was treated for smoke inhalation. The man who shot dead 6 worshippers in a Quebec City mosque in 2017 has been sentenced to serve 40 years in prison before being eligible for parole. Quebec Superior Court Justice Francois Hout called Alexander Bissonnet's attack gratuitous and insidious as he handed down the sentence today. Several people in the courtroom wept as the judge read a detailed account of the shooter's actions. Okanagan weather, periods of light snow tonight with accumulations of about 2 centimeters, lows to -11. Periods of light snow ending Saturday morning, highs to -7. Coming up tonight and tomorrow, a clinic treating opioid addictions is expanding, and we'll update you on the Okanagan snowpack. For details on these and the rest of the day's news, keep it here at castanet.net. Have yourself a great weekend. For Castanet News, I'm Wayne Moore.